Dre Spectre Boxing here with another video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the bell notification, that way you stay up to date on the latest content as I add it to the channel. Alright, excuse me again, man. Like I said, I just came from the gym. I got some videos to pump out today, man. A couple topics, and one of these topics is going to be one of the bigger welterweight fights that's coming up. On November 14th, you're going to have Special K, Kell Brook taking on Terence Crawford. And this is a big fight to kind of determine the landscape of the welterweight division. People are taking this fight a lot lighter and thinking that Terence Crawford, he's just gonna walk in there and he's gonna dismantle Special K. He's gonna just pick him apart, and that very well may be so. He may pick him apart, box on the back foot, and come out of there with a good win, maybe even stop Kell Brook. But this is a tougher fight than people may imagine. They think of Kell Brook as he hasn't been in the welterweight division for the last 2 years, and that he's gonna be rusty, and it might maybe well be so. But one thing that Kell Brook does and he brings to the table is his size and his physicality. He's not just a guy who's big, he's a guy who knows how to use his size. So Kell Brook usually comes into the ring and he's determined to be very physical in his fights. In the Carson Jones fight, and the Sean Porter fight, and the Errol Spence fight, he was very physical. He likes to push, he likes to grab and hold. If he's in trouble, he will grab and hold, he will stop the action. He's a smart fighter, very balanced in his attack. He has a very balanced 1-2 punch. So that's a lot for a guy to deal with, especially somebody coming in down from 154 pounds, which he's comfortable at, to fighting at 147. He's going to be obviously the bigger man up in there. And I think his physicality, I think that's going to play a part. So it is in Terence Crawford's best interest to bulk up, you know, and I don't think this is going to be anything bad on Terence Crawford. I think he should be looking to bulk up because he wants to be fighting these bigger welterweights in the division of 147. Looking, if he's eyeing Errol Spence is another huge welterweight. This guy comes in, he's 5'9", and he's really strong and stout. So coming up from 135, where I think Crawford started 130 or 135, I can't remember his first fights, but I know he has a championship at 135, 140, and 147. So coming up from them smaller weight divisions, and he's starting to feel out at welterweight really good. I think this is a good sign to see him bulking up in pictures and stuff, man, because again, Kell Brook is a physical fighter, and he poses a threat. This is gonna be the biggest guy that Terence Crawford fought up to this point in his career, and people not looking at it from that standpoint. Even though this guy doesn't fight at 147, he's coming down. He's a bigger man. So it's not, and Kell Brook has never been really he's been stopped twice. Let me correct that, and it was based off of injuries. So he says that he has these injuries cleared up, but even when he was stopped from those injuries, he took a knee in those fights, and he got stopped by Triple G on his feet. He wasn't really getting knocked down. Like he's not the guy. He's a very stout, strong guy. So he's not a guy who's just gonna fall down and go down, kind of like i.e. Amir Khan. He's not the type of guy to just take this on, you know, take a fall. I think he's a very strong, determined guy, and everything that I'm hearing from his camp is that he really wants this fight. He really wants to go out there and prove himself. And I think this is going to be a tougher fight than people are intending. I haven't chose who I think is going to be the victor yet, but I'm not looking at this like a wash, like a blowout. Like Terence Crawford is just going to go up in there and just wash him. Even though he's the champion, he's probably going to be coming in as the favorite. Kell Brook he's a fighter. He's a guy who's gonna come and he's gonna bring it, and he has a lot of pride. This guy does have a lot of pride. You may want to say that he quit in the Triple G fight or the Errol Spence fight. Those also were real, true orbital bone issues, injuries. So I don't put it past Kell Brook to show up in the best shape. If he holds up and he doesn't have any injuries, this this is a big guy that you're going to have to deal with for 12 rounds straight. So I believe that Kell Brook is well capable of making this a fight, actually even winning this fight, especially if it goes to full 12 and goes on scorecards. You know what I mean? We may have a new champion crowned at 147. And it's crazy to say that, but this guy's motivated to do it. He's not getting paid a huge check to come and fight Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? He's coming out here with something to prove, man. And I think he's gonna be a game fighter. And I think he's gonna show up and he's gonna do the best. I'm not gonna make a prediction, but I am gonna do a prediction and breakdown once it get closer to the fight. I'm not gonna do it right now. But I see this as it's not gonna be a one-sided fight. It's not gonna be a wash. This is not a guy that's coming in unmotivated. And a lot of people didn't like this matchup and say it's a bullshit matchup. I love the matchup. I love the matchup because we haven't seen Terence Crawford in there with bigger welterweights. We've seen him in there with other guys coming up from 140, or unproven champions, and Jeff Horn was a bigger guy, but he's an unproven champion, didn't have that many fights, especially at the championship level. And we've seen since then he's taking losses. He's not really that good. He got the surprise victory on Pacquiao over Pacquiao. That's about it that he's done in his career. After that, it's been downhill from there. So I'm not impressed by the Jeff Horn win for that championship. I wasn't impressed by the title defenses that he's had so far. Amir Khan, I thought, would have pushed Terence Crawford, but he laid down and it was a debacle of a fight. That shit was bullshit. So I really do want to see what Kell Brook can bring to the table and how he can push Terence Crawford. And if Terence Crawford is the guy that we all think he is, pound for pound, one of the top guys in the world, then he's gonna come out of this victorious. I'm not saying that he's not gonna have a problem. I want to see how he fights, how he performs, at what level does he perform. And I believe that he will perform at a high level, because I do believe Terence Crawford does have the skills, and he can back up a lot of stuff that he's saying. As long as he follows a game plan, as long as he don't get off that game plan and go in there and try to trade with the bigger guy, just to show his bravado and show that he's a tough guy. If he doesn't fall into those type of traps, he can make this an easy fight for himself. But we all know that Terence Crawford is a dog, and sometimes if he's hit, that dog barks back. You know what I mean? He will try to bite, and he'll bite down and go in there and trade in close quarters with some of these bigger guys, or some of these guys who he shouldn't be trading with, that he should be using his boxing IQ and staying on the outside and using some of the guard gifted athleticism that he has. And that's another thing I'll speak about this fight is Terence Crawford is a very athletic fighter, and I think he's one of the best in the world when it comes to athleticism. But as far as like fundamentals, I'm gonna give that nod to Kell Brook in this fight. Kell Brook is a very balanced, well fundamentally sound fighter, and I believe that he's gonna have a lot of success if he could just stick to his fundamentals and be very physical, cutting off the ring, be very physical with Terence Crawford as much as he can, make this a very mucky, ugly fight. And if he can make it a mucky, ugly fight, and it goes to the scorecards, I think, or if he can hurt Terence Crawford at some point, because I have seen Terence Crawford hurt by smaller guys. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Kell Brook could hurt him. So this is no hate on Terence Crawford, man. It's just some of the things that I've been seeing in recent years, and I'm just being unbiased and looking at it from both standpoints. This can go Kell Brook way just as much as it can go Terence Crawford's way. Right now, I see it as like a 60-40, and I lean towards Terence Crawford right now. As it gets closer to the fight and I start seeing how these guys look, feel, and I do like to see the energy of fight week. I like to see how these guys view each other and how they standing up to each other. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm not just gonna wipe this out and just call it Terence Crawford's fight. I'm not gonna be one of those people to just do that. I love skills, but at the end of the day, all this prediction and thinking what we think is gonna go down, fighters still gotta fight. That's Dre Spector. That's all I got for you, man. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this fight. Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford. How you think it's gonna go? How you think it's shaping up? How they looking in camp? Anything you've seen or heard so far? What do you think about this fight? And do you even like the matchup? Just let me know in the comment section. That's Dre Spector. That's all I got for you, and I'm out.